Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm Tim Dennis. Beer City Bruiser will be along a little bit later for dumb crimes and stupid criminals. Today we're going to do a little rip from the headlines. And we want to tell you about everything that happened over the Christmas holiday weekend. It wasn't all nice. It wasn't all merry, as much as we would have liked it to be. It actually started off before the Christmas holiday weekend, right here in Minnesota, right here at the Mall of America, where some tragedy unfolded. 5 were arrested after a 19-year-old was fatally shot at the Mall of America the day before Christmas Eve. We'll do our first rip from the headline story right here in Bloomington, Minnesota, where 5 people, including 3 juveniles, were arrested in connection with the fatal shooting of a 19-year-old man at the, they call it the famous Mall of America right here over the weekend. I don't know how famous it is. It's becoming more infamous as we go from month to month, year to year. It's I don't know. We seem to have a tragic incident at the Mall of America once every 6 months, it seems like, where we're in the news at the Mall of America for one thing or another. On December 23rd, Bloomington police had tweeted that they were on the scene after a reported shooting at the Mall of America, which was subsequently placed on lockdown. According to KMSP TV, the shooting occurred at around 7:50 p.m. inside Nordstrom's. Police arrived and found a male suffering from gunshot wounds, and he was declared dead at the scene. KMSP reported that Bloomington police said a group of people got into an argument, which then escalated into gunfire. A press conference was then called on December 24th, where Bloomington Police Chief Booker Hodges announced officers from a combined SWAT team went to a residence in St. Louis Park and took 5 people into custody, 3 of whom were 17-year-old juveniles. The other 2 suspects are reportedly 18 years old. They were all reportedly booked for second-degree murder. Bloomington police named the 2 adult suspects as Tayshawn Adams Wright and DeAndre Atuan DePrado. Hodges said he believes there was a long-standing feud between the suspects and the victim, whom the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office identified as 19-year-old Jonte Hudson. His cause of death was multiple gunshot wounds, and the manner of death was listed as homicide. Hudson's sister, Janaea Hudson, told CARE TV that Jonte went to the mall to find a sweater to go with his shoes to go to his friend's birthday that night. When you stop and think about it, folks, that's absolutely tragic that someone would lose their life just to go to a mall to get some shoes to go with a sweater. Hodges said at the press conference, "Whoever did this, we will catch them, and whoever helps them, we will lock you up too. The investigation remains ongoing." You know, Booker Hodges, as the police chief over in Bloomington, has really done some good for the city of Bloomington. I got to say that he's been rather animated as well. At one point, he had held up a pair of handcuffs and an orange jumpsuit when he was being animated about whoever had done this will catch them. Whoever helps them will lock you up too. He had held up an orange jumpsuit when he said that. He was being rather animated about it. He's brought some real toughness to the city of Bloomington, because at one point, I don't want to say crime was running rampant, but it was escalating. We'll put it that way. For those of you who aren't from the Twin Cities, Bloomington is about 20 minutes south of Minneapolis. And it was starting to get some of the same crime problems that Minneapolis was getting. They were getting some gang activity. They were getting a lot of the same crime issues as far as break-ins and carjackings and some of those other issues. And when Booker Hodges took over as the police chief, there was some toughness added to the Bloomington police, which is good. It was well warranted and well founded, and I think the way that this case was handled was swift, and of course, with the cameras around the mall, it's pretty hard to get away with something now in the Mall of America. And they've made it a much more secure facility than it was even 5-10 years ago. I think it was tough to walk into the mall and feel safe. I think now you feel much safer going to the Mall of America. And I think they've done, the Bloomington Police Department has done a much better job showing that they have a presence there. They actually have a police station within the mall that has a police presence right there in the mall. And then, of course, they're very quick to respond when there's trouble at the Mall of America. So it definitely is a safe place to be in the Mall of America. It's just that it's disheartening that when there are incidents at the mall, and keep in mind, this is only the second violent incident of this heightened capacity. We'll put it that way. And only the second one really to involve a weapon. The other one was a knife. I think people tend to think that there are incidents of this caliber all the time at the mall, and they're not. I think because there was the incident with the young boy who was thrown over the railing a couple of years ago, that there are incidents like this all the time. And it's not the case. It's that the magnitude, I think, of the incident is heightened. So and the fact that it is the Mall of America and people are coming from all over the United States, Canada, all over the world to this particular mall, that it's one of the largest malls in the world, I think it heightens it even more. So, but those five people, 3 juveniles, 2 adults, are in custody now. Names are slowly creeping out to the public, and evidently they were all located in St. Louis Park. And there'll be some interesting things I'll have for Bruiser when we bring them on board. Interesting facts about the case. Some of them are quite dumb, believe it or not. Coming up in Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals. Let's move on. An Arkansas boy was found under floorboards, and he had reportedly been drowned in the toilet. I'll tell you, folks, these ripped from the headline stories are quite nasty, a little archaic as we get through the Christmas holiday or looking towards New Year's. I'll forewarn you, a lot of these stories are jarring. We go to Lee County, Arkansas. A 28-year-old woman and her boyfriend are accused of killing their young son, whose body was found under the floor wrapped in plastic. Lee County court records show Ashley Rolland and her boyfriend Nathan Bridges face a slew of charges in connection with her son Blue's death. Rolland has been charged with capital murder, 2 counts of permitting child abuse, abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, endangering the welfare of a child, and battery. Bridges was charged with capital murder, abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, endangering the welfare of a child, and battery. If convicted of the capital murder charge, they could each face life in prison without parole or the death penalty. Blue's body was discovered December 16th, and Arkansas State Police say they believe the boy could have been dead for about 3 months. According to NBC News, Blue's remains were found on what would have been his 6th birthday. The affidavit cited by NBC News reportedly says Bridges killed Blue as punishment because Blue bit Bridges' finger. He then allegedly held the boy's head in a toilet bowl, causing him to drown. NBC News reports Rolland told law enforcement officials Blue died September 9th. She reportedly said she saw Bridges leave the bathroom, then walked in and saw her son limp. The affidavit says Rolland's claimed Bridges cut a hole in their wooden floor and dug a hole in the ground and buried Blue. Another woman, Rebecca Fighting, reportedly told police Ashley saw her son leave the bathroom with his face and body swelling and foaming at the mouth before collapsing and dying. The affidavit says Rolland told Fighting she did not know what to do and had buried Blue under the floorboards inside her residence. A 6-year-old girl, Blue's sister, was also found in the home with likely burn injuries to her scalp, according to WMC-TV. The girl reportedly also has broken ribs and other wounds. Karen Rolland, Blue's grandmother, told WMC the girl had puncture wounds like scissors in her head, and it looked like she had been strangled around her neck. My God. Karen Rolland also reportedly noticed bite marks on the girl's legs and an older injury that did not heal correctly. She was transported to a hospital, and doctors noted that she was severely malnourished and only weighed about 36 pounds. According to the affidavit, Karen saw the girl's injuries when she went to Ashley's house for a court-ordered visit. Karen then called authorities to report Blue was possibly deceased. Deputies reportedly went into the home and found newly nailed-down boards and disturbed earth underneath. They dug and reportedly found a flip-flop and blanket. Officials obtained a search warrant and eventually discovered an unidentified mass believed to be a small human body wrapped in multiple layers of plastic bags. Karen Rowland reportedly filed for guardianship of the girl and has been granted emergency temporary custody. Ashley Rowland is in custody at the St. Francis County Jail, while Bridges is reportedly at the Lee County Jail. They're both being held without bond. Let's continue on. A Cleveland man is accused of fatally striking a victim with a beer can. It's too bad we don't have Beer City Bruiser here. A 43-year-old man was recently arrested after fatally hitting a victim with a beer can. According to a news release from the U.S. Marshals Service, on September 16th, Michael Shepard and the victim got into an argument near a home in the 1800 block of Garfield Road when Shepard allegedly hit the man with the beer can, causing blunt force trauma. The victim, whose name was not released, was reportedly found dead in his apartment after a welfare check several days later. The Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force began working on the investigation shortly after, according to the U.S. Marshals. Prior to his arrest, Shepard was featured in a U.S. Marshals Service news release as a fugitive of the week earlier in the month. So you could say he has a history. On Wednesday, December 21st, Shepard was arrested at a home in the 9500 block of Detroit Road. In a statement, U.S. Marshals Pete Elliott said, "The violence perpetrated by offenders such as this will not be tolerated by our community members or our law enforcement partners. We will work together with both to ensure that those who commit violence are removed from the community as quick as possible." Well, that one certainly was removed. We can say that much. Interesting story out of Michigan, where a mom is accused of catfishing and cyberbullying her daughter for over a year. We go to Beale City, Michigan, where a 42-year-old mother is facing charges after she allegedly catfished her teenage daughter and sent her demeaning text messages over a span of months. According to the Mount Pleasant Morning Sun, Kendra Likari was charged Monday, December 12th, with 2 counts of stalking a minor, 2 counts of using a computer to commit a crime, and 1 count of obstruction of justice for allegedly harassing her daughter and her daughter's then boyfriend. Likari and the boyfriend's mother reported the harassment to the school district in December of 2021. The two worked with the Beale City schools to find the culprit, but the Morning Sun reports the school was hamstrung at the time because many of the messages were not sent on school grounds. Likari worked as a basketball coach at her daughter's school in 2021, but was reportedly not invited back to lead the team. WKRC-TV reports the alleged cyberbullying began in early 2021. According to WKRC, Isabella County Prosecutor David Barberi said prosecutors collected several hundred of text messages, including over 1,000 pages of discovery. The daughter allegedly received up to 12 texts a day. Keep in mind, mom is involved with this. Barberi said, by and large, it was mostly just harassing type text messages, demeaning, demoralizing, and just mean texts. The Morning Sun reports Likari allegedly used a VPN to hide the actual location where she sent the messages from and posed as different teenagers. The FBI eventually got involved and tracked the IP address to Likari. WWTV and WWUP-TV reported that Barberi called Likari's alleged actions as cyber Munchausen syndrome. Likari was booked into the Isabella County Jail and released after posting only $5,000 bond. I want you to think about that for a second, folks. You tortured your own child for a span of months for multiple texts a day, as many as 12 texts a day, and all you got was $5,000 bond for all of this harassment to your own child. Cyber Munchausen syndrome. If feels like it should be a lot more than that. Just unbelievable. On the other side of this, though, teenagers can act up on their own and can be quite the handful, as I'm sure a lot of you parents may know. A Florida teen, we go to Florida now for this story, allegedly stabbed his mother because she was on his case about cleaning his room. Sometimes you just got to let stuff slide. That's all I'm saying here. We go to Cocoa, Florida, where a 17-year-old suspect stands accused of beating and trying to fatally stab his mother. This one, if you are a parent, is absolutely horrifying. We all know that children grow to be quite strong, and we all know, as especially fathers to sons, there's that eventual test of strength where your teenage boy wants to stand up nose to you and prove that he's a man. This one got out of hand real quick. According to a news release from the Cocoa Police Department on Tuesday, November 29th, detectives learned about a missing juvenile who ran off with her 17-year-old boyfriend after he allegedly tried to kill the victim at a home on Japonica Lane. When officers arrived at the Japonica Lane home, the blood-covered victim was found lying on her back in the doorway of the laundry room. This according to WKMG-TV. Police said the victim had been stabbed and beaten and was transported to the hospital in critical condition. Her nose was allegedly almost detached from her face. My God. According to a report obtained by WKMG, prior to being transported to the hospital, the victim took a breath and said, "Toby did this," referring to her son Tobias Brewer. Brewer's friends and another male allegedly overheard loud bangs from the home, and the friend said she saw Brewer standing over his mother holding a pan as his mother said, "Toby, stop." Now, according to WKMG, Brewer had fled the scene in a vehicle that belonged to his mother, and the two friends got into the victim's other car, which is a Jeep Wrangler, and followed Brewer. The friend reportedly told the authorities that they saw Brewer go to his girlfriend's house and leave with her. Using an emergency ping from the suspect's cell phone, police eventually found Brewer. Volusia County deputies tried to perform a traffic stop, but Brewer fled and eventually crashed into a wooded area. Brewer allegedly then tried to flee with his girlfriend on foot, but he was later found and taken into custody. In an interview, Brewer reportedly said he was angry with his mother because she was constantly on his case about cleaning his room. Cleaning his room! That's what got him that angry. He eventually confessed to stabbing his mother numerous times and hitting her on the head with a frying pan until the handle broke. For cleaning his room. Some real issues there. After the attack, Brewer allegedly took his mother's vehicle keys and stole money from her purse. Nice kid. Brewer was booked into the Brevard County Jail on December 15th on charges of attempted murder, criminal conspiracy, flee with disregard of safety to persons and property, and grand theft auto. That, according to records, he remains held on $17,000 bond. Only my personal opinion, keep him there. Just keep him there. Let him find out what jail is all about. You might straighten out a little. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, a Pennsylvania woman is convicted of killing her estranged husband in a bank on Valentine's Day. That's so Raven Star is arrested for attacking his brother. And a nurse allegedly drugs, sexually assaults, and takes lewd photos and videos of their patient for a decade. Patients, hundreds of them. We'll find out about that. This is ripped from the headlines on True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. We go to Pennsylvania, where a woman is convicted of luring her estranged husband to a bank and killing him on Valentine's Day. Of course, obviously, this isn't recent, but there are new charges, or actually new happenings in the incident. We go to Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, where a 30-year-old woman was convicted of killing her husband at a bank on Valentine's Day last year. Not exactly the way I say I love you. It turns out that on December 21st, the Lancaster County District Attorney announced Judge Merrill Spahn found Danielle Bewley guilty of first-degree murder following a 5-day bench trial. Turns out on December 14th of 2021 at 5:30 p.m., Strasburg Police Department officers were dispatched to the PNC Bank on North Decatur Street for reports of shots fired and found a male deceased from an apparent gunshot wound. Strasburg police identified the victim as 27-year-old Mitchell Bewley. After the shooting, Danielle Bewley reportedly returned to her home on Locust Lane in Corryville and engaged in a standoff with police. She was eventually taken into custody by members of the Pennsylvania State Police Special Emergency Response Team and transported to a local hospital. According to the district attorney's office, Mitchell suffered 5 gunshot wounds to the torso, all of which had the potential to be the fatal shot. Prosecutors argued she shot and killed Mitchell Bewley after luring him into a PNC bank that Valentine's Day. Assistant District Attorney Christine Wilson said, on Valentine's Day of 2021, the defendant executed a plan and then executed the victim. She had it all planned out. It was specific premeditation. She was lying in wait for the victim to get there. Danielle Bewley's attorney, however, argued she shot her husband in self-defense. How do you do that in a bank? Let's find out. After shooting her husband, Danielle Bewley reportedly FaceTimed a friend, showed them the gun, and said he got what he deserved. Bizarre. The district attorney's office said Bewley's sentencing will happen at a later date, which it did. Actually, the sentencing did, but didn't happen, but the guilty plea of first-degree murder followed after that 5-day bench trial here on December 21st. Sentencing will happen later. I'll get my details straight here shortly. An interesting development with That's So Raven star Orlando Brown. He was arrested for allegedly threatening his brother with a hammer. We go to Lima, Ohio, where former Disney star Orlando Brown was arrested this week after he allegedly threatened a family member with a hammer and a knife. Allen County jail records show the 35-year-old was booked on a charge of aggravated menacing, which is a misdemeanor, by the way, according to WDTN TV. On Thursday, December 22nd at around 10 a.m., Lima Police Department officers responded to a home on the 400 block of Baxter Street regarding a fight. When they arrived, they reportedly found Brown in a domestic dispute with his brother. Brown had reportedly been staying at his brother's Baxter Street residence for the last 2 weeks, and the brother alleged the former's That's So Raven actor went at him with a hammer. The Hollywood Reporter, which cites the police report, says Brown also allegedly threatened his brother with a broken-off knife blade. Police reportedly found both items at the home. Brown's brother reportedly plans on filing charges against him. Brown had been living at the brother's house because he was homeless and did it to avoid going into a shelter, that according to the Hollywood Reporter. His bond has been set at $25,000. We move on and talk about a San Diego woman who, in an interesting case, is convicted of killing her stepfather, who surprisingly had nude photos of her on his computer. We go to San Diego. A jury found a 39-year-old woman guilty of killing her stepfather on New Year's Day last year after she reportedly found nude images of herself on his computer. The San Diego District Attorney's Office announced that Jade Jenks' first-degree murder conviction on Wednesday, December 21st, says the jury deliberated for a day before reaching the verdict. She faces 25 years to life in prison. On January 1st, 2021, San Diego County Sheriff's Department received a call to conduct a welfare check on a male at a residence on the 100 block of Nardo Avenue in Solana Beach. Homicide unit detectives later responded to the scene, took over the investigation, and found the deceased male. Detectives subsequently arrested Jenks for murder. The sheriff's department later identified the victim as 64-year-old Thomas Merriman. He reportedly co-owned a nature preserve called Butterfly Farms. According to the San Diego Union Tribune, on December 31st of 2020, Jenks reportedly picked up Merriman from a care facility and drove him back to his residence. The two lived next door to each other and even shared a driveway. At the trial, Jenks reportedly testified she found nude photos of herself on Merriman's computer when she was cleaning his apartment. One was reportedly set as a screensaver. Well, that'll get you caught. She allegedly looked through his computer and found hundreds of other images. Jenks reportedly said she wanted to confront him about the photos when he returned home from the care facility and even asked someone to be with her when she did it. The person who prosecutors reportedly referred to as a fixer didn't show up. The San Diego Union Tribune reports that Jenks testified Merriman drank a lot of whiskey on the ride home from the care facility and fell twice as she tried walking him to his home. She allegedly tried to take him back to the facility, but they would not readmit him. She reportedly sent incriminating text messages to people, which included, "I just dosed the hell out of him, and I can't carry him alone, and I can't keep a kicking body in my trunk." Yikes. Jenks reportedly said she left Merriman in her car to sleep off his drunkenness, but then found him dead the next day. She reportedly covered his body in boxes and blankets. Merriman died from an overdose of sleeping pills. Deputy District Attorney Jorge Del Portillo argued in court that Jenks strangled him and put a plastic bag over his head, too. Jenks' attorney, however, said Merriman abused pills in the past, and he did not show any signs of strangulation. Jenks will be sentenced in April. And finally today, and ripped from the headlines, this story is just a little graphic, so we'll warn you of that ahead of time. A nurse has allegedly drugged, sexually assaulted, and took lewd photos and videos of patients for well over a decade. We go to Grand Junction, Colorado, where a 61-year-old nurse allegedly drugged, sexually assaulted, and took inappropriate photos and videos of patients for at least 10 years, and a class action lawsuit was recently filed because of it. According to the arrest affidavit from the Grand Junction Police Department on July 9th, officers responded to St. Mary's Hospital to a report of potential misconduct. A witness reportedly saw Christopher Lambros, a registered nurse, taking photos of a patient's genitals. Police said the witness told authorities she came into the room, the lights were off, and the curtain was drawn. When she pulled back the curtain, the witness reportedly saw the unconscious patient with her gown pulled up, exposing her breasts. The sheet was allegedly pulled down, exposing the patient's genitals. According to police, the witness said she saw Lambros with his head on the patient's stomach, and he was holding a cell phone, taking a picture. Lambros reportedly dropped the phone and covered up the patient. Police said they went to Lambros's house and asked him about the allegations. He allegedly said that he was injecting the patient for blood clots in the stomach area, and that is why the patient was uncovered. He reportedly denied that he took any photos of the patient. Police said that a search warrant was obtained for Lambros's phone, and authorities eventually found photographs and videos of Lambros posing with a number of victims who were unconscious in the hospital setting. In the photos, police said Lambros was seen sucking on patients' breasts and digitally penetrating victims. Investigators allegedly found 700,000 photos and 65,000 hours of videos from Lambros's cell phone, according to KDVR-TV. KDVR alleges that on June 24th of 2022, Lambros whispered into the camera, "Don't ever get rid of these videos, and you need to keep them forever. This is your Dexter collection." Now that's just creepy. According to police, Lambros, who received his nursing license in Colorado on June 12th of 2012, was initially charged with 3 counts of sexual assault. On Tuesday, December 20th, a class action lawsuit was reportedly filed by law firm Rathod Mohammed Bai LLC. The lawsuit alleges that the hospital knew or should have known about Lambros drugging, sexually assaulting, and taking lewd photos of patients. The lawsuit also points out that there are surveillance cameras in each hospital room. St. Mary's Hospital told KDVR that Lambros was terminated from his position upon his arrest. That'll do it for Ripped from the Headlines right here on True Crime Tuesday. We're going to lighten it up just a bit. We're going to take it right now over to Beer City Bruiser, who is waiting in an airport terminal right now for us. And it's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time once again, that time you've all been looking forward to. It is time for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And I'm bringing in a co-host with the most, who is sitting in an airport and that dedicated to the bit. It's the Beer City Bruiser. Bruiser, how you doing?
Oh, I'm tired, Tim. I'm tired. I've been traveling all weekend, trying to get home from the parents of Bruiser's house. And it was 18-hour travel day Saturday, and today I think I'm going to end up at like 13. So,
oh my God.
But you know what? Our fans, they need us. Our listeners, they need the Bruiser and the Cruiser, so I'm here.
That's right. We'll catch up on your Christmas tomorrow, my friend. Let's get through the bit here today. It's Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals. And speaking of Christmas, I hope to God you and Papa Bruiser did not attack anybody with a Christmas ornament this week.
Well, if you count my brother and sister.
Oh, well, yeah. Hopefully no other bruisers were attacked this weekend with anything with a Christmas ornament. A man was charged with using a Christmas ornament in a domestic attack over the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, and a little different. A 53-year-old victim was struck in the head with a fragile angel figurine. I don't think it's so fragile anymore.
I don't think so either. I think it's pretty broken.
Yeah. It was a holiday behind bars for a man who allegedly struck his girlfriend in the head with an angel figurine during a Christmas morning confrontation in the couple's Florida residence.
Holiday-ish.
No, it's not. The spirit
of Christmassy.
No, it's not Christmassy. It's not Christian. It's not. The baby Jesus would disapprove.
He would. He'd be like, "What's going on, man? It's my birthday.
Yeah,
why are you gonna be that guy at my birthday?"
Yeah, I mean, frankincense, myrrh, and a broken angel figurine. I don't think so.
No,
right?
Not on his watch.
That's right. Of course, it had to happen in Florida, Bruiser. That's the only place it could happen, yeah. Investigators allege that 55-year-old Frankie Caldwell battered the victim around 7 a.m. with a fragile Christmas ornament, causing it to shatter into pieces. Well, of course, it's fragile. It's not going to stay together.
Or as they say in Italy, fragile.
Yes, and in a Christmas Story as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it all weekend, so.
Did you? That's what the parents had on, yeah?
Oh, no. They have a rule in their house that we're not allowed to watch it because when I was a kid, I had it on the TV 24/7.
Oh, okay.
So it's my tradition every year I watch, with my kids, we watch Christmas Vacation and Christmas Story.
Okay.
Just because I'm at my parents' house doesn't mean I have to change that, right?
Right. Now, have we had this discussion? You've seen the new one, yes?
No, I have not. My brother saw it and was like, "Hey, have you seen it yet?" I said, "No, not yet." He's like, "You need to watch it."
Okay. So you haven't seen it yet?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. Well, you have to see it when you get home. Do you have HBO Max?
I do, so I will see it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to get a full report from you then, probably next week. Next week, we'll get a full report. The 53-year-old woman was described in court filings as Caldwell's on-again, off-again girlfriend of 9 years. When police arrived at the pair's Clearwater apartment, the victim described pieces of the figurine falling down the back of her dress. Yikes. After being read his rights, Caldwell denied attacking the victim, claiming instead that she hit him with the angel figurine, or that she had hit him with the angel figurine. Cops noted that Caldwell, who is bald, I don't know what that has to do with the price of tea in China, showed no injuries on his head, while the scene was consistent with the victim's account of events.
So he's trying to say, no, she threw it at me, but doesn't have any marks. The key thing there is if you're going to accuse the other person, you might want to scuff your head up a bit.
Yeah, you might want to put some marks in there, might want to gig yourself, something like that.
Exactly.
Pictured, well, you can't see because it's radio. Pictured above, Caldwell was arrested on a pair of felony battery counts and booked into the county jail where he remains locked up in lieu of $7,500 bond. A judge has ordered him to have no contact with the victim. Caldwell's rap sheet includes felony battery convictions in 1991 and 2016. So he's not been a good boy for Santa in those years, Bruiser, that's for sure.
He's been spreading it out, so that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. He was arrested in 2017 for allegedly elbowing his pregnant girlfriend in the mouth during an argument in their Clearwater home.
Oh, jeez.
Yikes. Prosecutors subsequently declined to pursue charges against Caldwell.
What?
Yeah.
What? Come on.
Maybe it's an act of, I don't know, Christmas. That isn't Christmas spirit. You probably want to prosecute the guy.
Yeah, you'd want to throw him in jail at least.
I don't know. Who knows? That's an odd story at that.
So I take it their relationship's on the off now? No.
I can't imagine it's on. I just can't imagine. In a story that goes from one guy hitting his girlfriend with a figurine for Christmas to one former police officer getting his presents from others on the highway. We switch it up, but from one crime to another. A former Rohnert Park police officer pleads not guilty to new federal charges. Joseph Huffaker is a defendant in an extortion case with a former Rohnert Park police sergeant. They're accused of shaking down motorists on Highway 101 for cash and marijuana. Now listen how this goes down, Bruiser. This is actually not quite genius. It ends up being stupid in the end because of how they pulled this off. A former Rohnert Park police officer pleaded not guilty to additional federal charges filed against him in an extortion case that also involves a former sergeant. Joseph Huffaker entered his plea Thursday in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, according to federal court records. His hearing lasted about all of 3 minutes. That's how
that's got to be a record.
It is. It's got to be some sort of land speed record.
It does.
Earlier this month, a grand jury indicted him on charges of impersonating a federal officer, falsifying records, and aiding and abetting. Huffaker, who was employed by the Rohnert Park Department of Public Safety from 2012 to 2019, was indicted last year on federal charges of conspiracy to commit extortion and extortion under color of law. That's a new one. A status and trial setting hearing is scheduled for January 18th before Judge Maxine M. Chesney in San Francisco. A second defendant, Brendan J.C. Tatum, pleaded guilty on December 1st of 2021 to federal extortion charges in his role as a peace officer, falsifying police reports and tax evasion. He was also indicted in September of 2021 and is scheduled to be sentenced on April 26th. That tells you how long this case has been drawn out. Because of the seriousness of the charges. According to the indictment, Tatum was accused of extorting at least $3,700 in cash and 85 pounds of marijuana. 85 pounds, Bruiser.
Wow. he took more marijuana than he did made money.
That's right. From motorists traveling on Highway 101. Huffaker is accused of being involved in at least 2 of the alleged incidents.
So what you're saying is if you want weed, you just go to Route 101 and somebody driving by is going to have some.
Oh, yeah, I think so. 85 pounds worth, my friend, in the time that they were extorting it from motorists.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tatum led... Wow. Okay, so Huffaker is accused of being involved in at least 2 of the alleged incidents in that deal. Tatum led Rohnert Park Department of Public Safety's drug interdiction teams From 2014 until 2017, team members were tasked with conducting traffic stops to seize illegal drugs, efforts that were in addition to their regular duties. Members of the drug team were required to document and submit seized property as evidence. According to department protocol, Sonoma County judges had to sign off on any destroyed narcotics. Now, here's the trick. Federal prosecutors said Huffaker and Tatum shook down drivers on Highway 101 for cash, pot, and property without documenting the stops or the evidence that they seized. So guess what that means, Bruiser? Free money, free pot, and free property.
Exactly. It's all theirs. They stopped them. They did what they had to do.
That's right. And you don't write it down. Prosecutors allege the men pretended to be agents with the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Or as we know
that's a big no-no.
That's right. You can't do that. That, as we know it, the ATF. The defendants allowed motorists to go if they did not contest the seizures and did not report the contraband to their department.
So it's if you keep your mouth shut, we won't report this.
That's right. Just give it to us and you can go free.
Yeah, no charges, nothing. And everyone's probably like, sure, here you go. See you later.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
ATF is not that nice.
That's right. They don't just let you go if you hand over their stuff. It doesn't work that way. Meanwhile, we continue further down the highway in California, Bruiser, where if you don't just hand it over to the cops, maybe you can throw it out the window at the cops and they'll catch it. And you can go free. This story is
I would love to see that dash cam footage.
Oh, they said it looked like a snowstorm. Let me tell you about this story, Bruiser, because this one is actually so dangerous that somebody could have died from it.
Oh, that's not good.
You know how we talk about dangerous levels of fentanyl?
Yeah.
And how if you were exposed to just a tiny drop of a potent amount of fentanyl, it could kill you?
Yeah.
I want you to imagine this scenario now, Bruiser. Suspect throws drugs out the car window during a Westminster chase. This is in Orange County. Police say it looked like a snowstorm.
Oh, jeez.
And there is an actual picture that I'll show you here in a minute. A suspect reportedly tossed several drugs out of his car window during a high-speed chase in Westminster Friday night, and this past Friday, in what investigators said looked like a snowstorm. According to police, officers tried pulling over 60-year-old. The guy is 60 years old, so it tells you he can't necessarily tell how much is lethal when he throws it out the window. Let me describe to you what he threw out the window here.
All right.
60-year-old Tim Hughes of Downey at around 11 p.m. on Friday night near Westminster and Beach Boulevards threw out, get ready for this. Okay, so Hughes refuses to pull over and a chase ensues with police, according to investigators. One of the officers involved in the pursuit said it looked like a snowstorm as Hughes reportedly began throwing drugs from the vehicle as he's being chased. Okay?
Okay.
Keep in mind, Bruiser, 60 years old, doesn't know any better. All right?
It's the holidays.
It's the holidays. He's like, I'm not getting busted. I'm not going to jail, right? More than 6 ounces of methamphetamine and 7 ounces of fentanyl were seized.
Oh, jeez.
So he's throwing fentanyl out the window along with methamphetamine. Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, that would kill an elephant.
Yeah.
And then some. Yeah.
And it's free floating out in the air.
Yeah. Can you imagine if you were just walking by and all of a sudden it just hits you in the face?
Yeah. And you're breathing all that in. You're just like that. You're gone.
You just have all this energy and your teeth are rotting out and then you're just dead.
Well, I would think it would be massive overdose just immediately. Just especially the fentanyl. The fentanyl is what kills you. The methamphetamine isn't going to kill you. It'll be the fentanyl that'll hit you and kill you. Yeah. Especially in a toxic dose. Now,
and that can be absorbed through the skin too, from what I remember.
Yeah. So officers also found 300 fentanyl pills, an ounce of heroin, and around $6,000 cash in Hughes' vehicle. Hughes was arrested and is facing several charges, including possession of narcotics for sales. felony evading and destruction of evidence. No injuries were reported. Now, Bruiser, let me see if I can get this in close enough. Do you see what that looks like from a dash cam?
Oh yeah, it looks like it's snowing.
Yeah. It's snowing in Orange County, my friend. Look at that.
Well, he had to have been dealing. There's no way that was personal.
No, he was dealing. Yeah, definitely dealing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just ridiculous. It was just boom, all over the place. Yeah.
He's lucky no one got hurt because he can be charged with murder for that then.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's, I mean, if anybody went to the hospital and then from there came in for an OD or came in dead on arrival from an OD and was just standing on a street corner, well, there's murder charges.
Yeah, exactly. And I wonder if you're going to throw assault with a deadly weapon at him because of how much there was.
I don't know. That's a good question. This story is just plain unusual, and it has to do with food, my friend.
Oh, we love the food story.
But it also has to do with crime, and we go to Italy for it. The headline says, "Forget about it. Italian farmers are fighting to rub out mafia food and drink names."
Okay.
They don't want mafia names associated with food.
You know what? It's part of the Italian history. You know what I mean?
Well, but listen to their beef, and you might agree with them here. It says this isn't the kind of tribute they want to be paid. Italian farmers have declared war on food businesses around the world that try to make their bones by using advertising gimmicks associated with the mafia. Products including Scottish Cosa Nostra shot whiskey sold in Tommy gun-shaped bottles, as well as Germany's Don Marco's Mafia coffee rub barbecue seasoning, and the Don Corleone restaurant in Finland are all on the hit list compiled by, I believe it is Coldiretti, Italy's largest agricultural trade group. Using and evoking the name of organized crime for marketing purposes cannot be accepted, Coldiretti President Ettore Prandini told The Guardian. There is economic damage to our agri-food sector, but also damage to the victims of the underworld. Earlier this month, the organization went to the birthplace of the mafia, Palermo, Sicily, to exhibit some of the items it found during an investigation that also turned up nearly 300 eateries outside of Italy with mob-themed monikers. Interestingly enough, the U.S., home to New York's notorious Five Families and the Chicago outfit established by the late mob boss Al Capone, has no shortage, including, of course, the Godfather's pizza chain with its slogan, "A pizza you can't refuse."
Yeah, and it's so embedded in the American culture now. Like, we don't look at it as a negative because of movies like The Godfather.
Oh, sure.
Goodfellas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, how many restaurants have you been in with Tim where you've seen a guy holding the Tommy gun? You know what I mean? Like a pizza joint or a Italian restaurant. Well,
one of my all-time favorite, and it's a controversial pizza place. There's only one of them in Minnesota, and that is now the name is escaping me. It is Rocky Rococo.
Oh, we used to have a Rocky Rococo's by our house.
Yeah, Rocky Rococo Pizza has the picture of a guy, an Italian guy, who looks very much like he comes right out of The Godfather. And a lot of their imagery was very much Italian mobster imagery.
Yeah, but their pizza's amazing.
It is. It's very good pizza. But it's a Wisconsin chain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
like I said, I get where they're coming from, but like, at least here stateside, because the mob's not in power as much as they used to be, it's not as looked down upon, I guess.
True.
It's more like if you think back in the Wild West, when you buy the 10-cent books of Billy the Kid or Jesse James.
Yeah, you're right. You know? Yeah. It's more an homage to a time long gone by. It's the way the restaurateurs see it than anything else.
Right.
You look at other things too, like, but you know something? I just got something that came across we talk about ads on Facebook all the time.
Right.
I just recently got ads for New Sopranos stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, New Sopranos merchandise.
Okay.
And like there's new like Bada Bing sweatshirts and stuff like that. So I mean it's and that's 20-year-old merchandise.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah. So I mean that's alive and well and kicking. So there's also the New Jersey and the reason I bring that up, there's a New Jersey-based Bada Bean Coffee Company which pays homage to the Bada Bing strip club in the Sopranos. Whose late star James Gandolfini was recently honored by having a Garden State Parkway rest stop named after him, which I wasn't aware of that. What's that?
I wasn't aware of that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that had happened, but it did.
Yeah.
In Hilliard, Ohio, the Meatball Mafia offers dishes such as the wartime consigliere sub and the stand-up guy white pizza. Which sounds like good stuff. I mean, we're always talking good food on the show. Coldiretti's branch manager, Alessandro Apolito, said the continued association of Italy with these mafia stereotypes and criminality is hugely damaging to the country's image. In Palermo especially, there's a strong sense of indignation over this absurd marketing, he said. There are millions of Sicilians. Ooh, Millions of Sicilians would be an excellent band name.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, millions
all
of...
you do is you just sing old-time Italian songs.
Oh, with a little mandolin in the background? Yep. There are millions of Sicilians who are honest and respect the laws, but who are victims of this criminal plague, he went on to say. In addition to the mobbed-up names, Coldiretti said many of the products found are being disguised as coming from Italy and being sold past their expiration date. So they're worried about not so fresh food.
Yeah. How is it hurting their image though as a Sicilian? Like when I looking at, if I meet a Sicilian or Italian person, I don't right away think, oh, you're in the mob. I
don't either. No, I don't know. They're worried about, when they talk about the not so fresh food, they're worried about an Italian flag on an out of date product. They're worried about things that aren't so fresh, I guess. There's some other things here. But then I'm looking at some of the things that there's like a picture here of the Burger Mafia. I've never heard of that restaurant, but
neither have I.
Yeah, they're showing that in a menu. They say Coldiretti is ready to go to the mattresses over the issue. He says, we need to reach an agreement at the European level to ensure that this can no longer happen. It seems like his fight really is with the European Union because their standards are less for freshness when it comes to,
That I agree with.
Yeah.
Because when you think Italian food, you think fresh ingredients, you think fresh mozzarella. You know what I mean? Like you think all the fresh stuff.
Yeah. And I think our standards for food freshness and for quality are a little bit better over here in America. So they don't as much have a fight with us as they do over in the European Union.
Yeah.
Let's move on. We were talking about fentanyl and other drugs in the past couple of stories. We talk sometimes about how it gets smuggled over here, and we talk about how some of the more creative ways to get it over here, and how people are smuggling it over here.
Yeah, I've been watching the news here because my parents live in Arizona, and they have a daily, someone smuggling something across the border because they live close to the border, and just the creative ways these people come up with is just insane.
Well, as you were coming back, my friend, to North Carolina from Arizona, I saw this story and I went, aha, a clever way for maybe for you and the missus to make some money. That's
look into it.
If you're that daring. It turns out a Texas flight attendant pleads guilty to smuggling fentanyl in California.
Oh, okay.
Of all the people, and this was a plot in a movie. I don't remember which movie it was though, where the flight attendants would smuggle the dope back and forth. But which movie was it? It's like a famous gangster movie.
I've never heard of that movie.
Don't you remember? Somebody was handing off the dope to the flight attendants, and they would bring it back and forth from country to country.
I don't remember that movie, but it's a hell of a plot.
But it says here, a Dallas, Texas flight attendant pleaded guilty to drug trafficking after she was caught smuggling fentanyl taped to her abdomen at San Diego International Airport. 41-year-old Teresa L. White pleaded guilty in federal court, admitting she used her privileges as a flight attendant to get through TSA and their screening to smuggle fentanyl. The Department of Justice...
Do they not have to go through the same screening we do?
They do, but it's a little bit looser.
It is, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they still have to go through screening.
Yeah.
But it's just not as rigorous.
Okay.
They get like the like the top level of TSA screening you can get.
Yeah.
They get that.
Okay.
Yeah. The Department of Justice said White admitted that on October 4th, 2022, she was off duty. Oh, she was off duty at the time and flew from Dallas Fort Worth International Airport to San Diego International Airport. She exited the secure area of the airport after arriving, and when she returned to catch a scheduled flight to Boston, Massachusetts, White attempted to bypass regular TSA screening using the known crew member queue, so hoping to get a little bit easier screening.
Right.
Okay. Despite being in the queue, she was selected for regular screening, which is when TSA officers discovered she concealed packages taped to her abdomen. The packages...
Talk about bad luck. So they do random searches on them, too. That's amazing.
Yep. They pulled her from the line. Despite being in the queue, I said that she was selected for screening. The packages, the DOJ said, are you ready for this, Bruiser? Contained more than 3 pounds of fentanyl.
Oh, geez, that's so much.
Yeah, so she had 3 pounds. I suppose, being a flight attendant, she's probably this little bitty thing, and she's got 3 pounds of fentanyl strapped to her abdomen.
Yeah, she had to wear baggy clothing, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, I'm assuming, too.
And you're right, they're tiny. Most of them.
Yeah, most of them don't have that much to strap 3 pounds to their abdomen.
Just ignore that. That's my fentanyl baby. That's all that is.
That's my fentanyl baby. White is scheduled to be sentenced on March 24th, 2023 by U.S. District Judge Kathy Ann Bensavengo, and faces up to 20 years in prison. Drug traffickers use air, land, and sea for personal gain, putting people's lives in danger. DEA Special Agent in Charge Shelley Howe said, "We will continue the great work with our partners to bring traffickers to justice and keep our community safe." How do you like that? You just get popped at work.
Do you think she keeps her job?
No. I think you're done with the job at that point. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you're done with frequent flyers, and I don't think the airport's going to allow you back in.
Right. Yeah, I think you're done at that point. Early in the program, I had talked a little bit about the shooting at the Mall of America, which, by the way, interesting, tragic shooting at that. Shooting and the life of one young man was lost at the Mall of America before Christmas, and what continues to be just odd crimes committed at the Mall of America, but this was a revenge killing of all things. So the 5 people involved against this one person knew each other. They knew each other, but. Of all the weird things that happened involved in the shooting, believe it or not, there were members of the New York Giants football team that were in the mall at the time that the shooting occurred.
Really?
And were held on lockdown. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're just regular people in a mall at that point.
Yeah. So, so if you want to blame the Vikings for winning that game, you can blame that. I'll let you. Go ahead. The second thing, which I want to bring up on Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals, you always hear about something stupid about a crime, no matter how serious it is. These knuckleheads, these 5 teens that were charged in the Mall of America shooting, stopped at White Castle after the murder.
Oh, come on.
Seriously, they had to get a crave case. I kid you not. It was the police chief of Bloomington, Booker Hodges, who brought it up at one of the press conferences before they actually booked the 5 of them, or before they released the names. They had them booked and arrested, but let me get the quote here because it's just too much to believe. He said, the people we arrested here after the shooting appears they felt it was necessary to get something to eat, so they went to White Castle and got a Crave pack, a visibly irritated Hodges said. Those arrested are not from Bloomington, but are from the Twin Cities area, more specifically St. Louis Park. They are flat out refusing to cooperate with authorities, Hodges said, with some even to declining to share their names up until they were released to the media just recently, just until today. Hodges did not say whether any weapons were recovered. The medical examiner will reveal the victim's identity in the coming days, which he did today, which we had on a story earlier in the program. But they had to stop off and get a Crave case from White Castle, Bruiser.
And it's tragic someone passed away, but now think of those jail guards, because those guys are going to come in there and just have the worst diarrhea because it's sliders. Like they go through you.
Yeah. I just, I would think just for torture's sake, they ought to just take a used Crave case box, that's like 4 or 5 days old, and slide it into their cell and let it sit there. Because there's nothing worse than the smell of a 4 to 5 day old Crave case.
Oh,
so it just smells like rancid farts.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
And then you make them eat it.
Yeah. Oh. I say throw old White Castle at them and let it eat it. That's just the worst.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on board with that.
That's just the worst. Another thing, while you're there at the airport, Bruce, I figured I'd dig this story up for you.
Okay.
And just be leery, my friend. Be aware not to let your phone too far out of sight and let Mrs. Bruiser at it.
Oh, she goes on my phone all the time. I don't mind.
Oh, boy. I don't know if that's a good idea. Here's why. There's a headline here that says, woman attacks hubby at airport after finding indecent images on his phone.
Oh, see, I don't have to worry about that.
Okay, because this got pretty serious in line, I'll just tell you. A couple's vacation to South Carolina. First of all, why are you vacationing in South Carolina? And secondly, that's just a little joke there.
Myrtle Beach is pretty.
I guess so, yeah. Don't know if that's the first place I'd go. But,
I only live like 20 minutes from South Carolina. It's a nice state.
Well, sure. Yeah, I mean, you live close to it, so you have to compliment them. But I mean, I'm just saying. A couple's vacation to South Carolina was over before it began when the woman was arrested for allegedly attacking her hubby at the airport when she found lewd images on his phone.
Guys got to delete those.
Yeah.
Got to delete them.
Yeah, back up those images, pal. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Send them to the cloud.
55-year-old Paula Barber was charged with third-degree domestic violence after the violent confrontation Wednesday at the Charleston International Airport. You didn't run into them by chance, did you?
No, because I flew out of Charlotte, so
okay,
I'm good.
Good. Okay, good. Police responding to an active domestic incident at 2:50 p.m. found the couple in the midst of an altercation. The suspect stated that she just wanted to get away from the victim and fly back home, the police incident report obtained by the outlet states. She said they had arrived in South Carolina for a vacation, but that her mood soured when she saw several indecent photos on his cell phone. Oh, I don't know. Does the mood ever get better after that?
No, you're in the doghouse for life after that.
An argument ensued when she confronted him about the saucy snaps. The man denied being attacked, but surveillance images, the camera never lies, Bruiser.
And they're everywhere in an airport.
Yes, they are. The surveillance images reportedly showed his wife delivering kicks to his legs, throwing the phone to the floor, and trying to smack him in the face. Barber admitted to assaulting him and was arrested. She was taken to the Al Cannon Detention Center and released a day later on a $5,237 bond.
Oh, geez. That means she has to return to South Carolina for the court case. Yeah.
First of all, who's Al Cannon and what did he do to get a detention center in an airport named after him? And second, how do you end up getting a bond on smacking your husband around in an airport?
Hey, and she only did third degree. She didn't go first degree.
Well, at that point, you would think they'd be a little understanding and go, okay, so the hubby's been doing her wrong. She got a few kicks and punches in. Let her go.
No, because they probably have their seats next to each other on the airplane, and they don't want to disrupt the flight.
Well, that's when you go to the ticket counter and go, okay, can you put the woman in first class and put him in the back of the plane so that they get to their destination safely? Then they can go their separate ways, or ask one of them if they're going to stay home.
Or I don't get why they didn't just send her back to wherever they were from and just call the local police and say, hey, this just happened. You need to arrest her.
True. Very true. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know how that happens, but maybe that's how you do it. I don't know. We're down to our last two stories here, Bruiser and Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals. This is the not safe for work portion of our program. This is when we take just
a beer portion.
The boobies and beer and boobies portion. Our special holiday treat for you. Of course, we're getting closer to New Year's Eve, so we're going to get a little wilder than normal. So if you can, please turn your listening devices down. Get the kids tucked away somewhere, maybe in a closet somewhere. I don't know where you put the kids during the segment, or turn it down around your bosses if you're at work. This first one comes from our buddy Tom. Of
course it does.
Of course it does. Thank you, Tom. This one, which by the way, Tom sent me as we're waiting for the kids to kind of, shuffle off to Buffalo or wherever you're putting them. Tom sent me an interesting sign over the holidays and said, happy holidays to you. And yours said happy holidays to the Bruisers. But sent me an interesting sign that said basically that my property was watched by chipmunks. You know how you have a watched by dog sign in the front yard?
Yep.
I got a watched by chipmunk sign, so I hung that up promptly in front of my house.
Which you have a guard chipmunk.
I do.
Wicket there.
Yeah, Wicket.
He barks.
Yep, he barks. Yep. So it's appropriate. I just don't have him in the winter months when he's sleeping. So
nobody needs to know that.
Well, that's
nobody
true.
needs to know that.
That's true. Nobody does need to know that. That's true. Okay, with that, I think your kids are probably safely tucked away. Of course, we're going to Florida for this next story because, by God, it's probably inappropriate. Just when you think it couldn't get any weirder in Florida, a trio of women is donning bondage gear, heating things up during a city commission meeting in Fort Lauderdale this past Tuesday, according to WPLG. What are they asking for, Bruiser, you may ask? Well, commissioners were discussing what to do with a yard waste facility. The leather-clad group approached the lectern, and one of the women is identified as Ms. Crave by Mayor Dean Trantalis. Good evening, council peoples. You may call me mistress, the costume woman begins, adding that she stands neutral on the matter before pivoting to a different topic altogether. I do, however, find it interesting that you will spend almost $1 million to hide your secrets down the drain, hiding that condom I know you used to cheat on your spouse with, she told officials. She opened it very bravely. I propose that you use a quarter of that $1 million to support Doms and Subs in Broward County to build a dungeon created for us, by us, the taxpayers, and voting citizens. She wants a taxpayer-funded dungeon.
She just wants to add a tourist attraction. That's all.
That's right. She wants a Disneyland for Doms and Subs.
I just love how her first thing is, first of all, call me mistress.
Yes, that's right. Doms and subs are shorts for dominants and submissives, which are terms in bondage play. The self-described mistress wrapped her request by saying, in closing, do not let this glamorous look distract you from doing your duty to take my demand. I look forward to spanking each and every single one of you at the new esteemed dungeon. You are dismissed.
So she's got dirt on somebody up there.
Oh, I think quite a few of them.
Yeah, we're going to see it. That dungeon's going to be built. We know it is.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Okay, thank you, Trantalis simply replied, and happy holidays to you. Yeah. Reporters believe it may have been a PR stunt. After doing some digging, they learned the group may have been affiliated with a nightclub called Crave Miami. A source told the news station they were spotted handing out business cards regarding the club. Located near Miami International Airport, very convenient for all you doms and subs.
That's right. You get off your plane, you go right to the dungeon.
That's right. Crave is described as a no rules, no labels, no boundaries, fully interactive ultra lounge. There you go. That's our first story.
AKA a dungeon.
That's right. AKA a dungeon. Go straight from the airport lounge to the airport dungeon. And finally, just as you think the holidays are a giving season, Bruiser, they're really giving in Sin City. There's a little bit of giving, there's a little bit of taking, there's a little bit of giving and a little bit of receiving, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean.
And it truly is the giving season, as cops are hunting a disgusting tourist filming himself having sex on a busy road after a Christmas bender in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's all I got. Yep.
Although it's not
Vegas.
It's not Sin City is in Vegas. It's in Thailand. I misread that one.
He's in Thailand.
Yeah, we're going to Thailand, where Thai police are hunting.
You can't do that in Thailand.
No. Thai police are hunting a disgusting foreigner caught on camera having public sex with a prostitute during an all-night booze bender. Ah, how interesting. In what appears to be the tawdry trend of 2022, a blonde tourist was filmed romping roadside with a paid sex worker at about 4 a.m. Christmas Day in Pattaya, the Thailand resort town known as Sin City, because of its body bars and massage parlors.
And the people randomly having sex in the street.
Yes. Shocking security camera video shows the horny holidaymaker getting down and dirty by the side of a busy road, with the pair appearing unbothered by passing traffic. The woman was also seen performing oral sex on the man as multiple cars zoom by their offense al fresco antics. Oh, how nice. You can just point it out to the kids and say, hey, look at that, kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's that National Lampoon lines? Kids Parliament.
Yeah, exactly. At one point, the blonde tourist even waved to the bystander who had stopped to film the salacious sexcapade on his phone, resulting in now viral footage released by the local viral press. Meanwhile, the uninhibited pair also was spotted by an outraged homeless man who immediately reported the incident to the police. My question is, how do homeless people report things to the police?
He walked all the way there, said, you need to follow me. Walked all the way back, and they're gone. And he's like, oh, no, seriously, this just happened. I promise you. They were on my front lawn.
I guess.
Well, where's your house, sir? This is my house.
The 50-year-old eyewitness described the male as a disgusting foreigner who appeared to be intoxicated. They were sitting there doing it for 30 minutes, he said. Well, that's stamina is what I say.
Yeah. Wow, I'm jealous.
Yeah. Speaking of, we may have a new sponsor on the show.
Ooh, okay.
Blue Chew.
Help us? Yes.
Yeah, Blue Chew. I guess they inquired.
Oh, well, come on board, Blue Chew.
They must have heard us a few months ago. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So they were sitting there doing it for 30 minutes. If they were sitting and doing it, they weren't doing it right. No. They didn't care about the cars going by, the guy said. They could even see me watching them, but they were too drunk to care. Well, that means they were paying attention, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the holiday spirit.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. They were given and taken.
Yeah.
The shaken eyewitness added, I heard the man talking. He was from England. Oh,
okay.
Cheerio, pip, pip, and all that. They finished, then they talk, and he gave her something. Probably cab fare. He said, I think it was money, and she left. I am tired of disgusting foreigners treating my city like a rubbish bin. The homeless man went on to say. So wait, the homeless guy said, I'm tired of people treating my city like a rubbish bin.
Yep.
I see.
Yeah, like I said, that's his house.
Police Captain Utapul Bunkard said police are examining security camera footage in a bid to trace the tourist. He faces arrest for public indecency. Oh my.
They're not going to catch him. He's long gone, and he's got a story for the ages.
Well, you know why it's hard to catch him? Because everything's blurred from the waist down.
Those darn sensors.
I know, right? It says we have received information that he could be British, but we will not know for sure until we find him, Book Nerd said. There are lots of cameras in the area, which we are watching back and watching to confirm a crime has been committed at that date and time. It should not
Phil
be...
over there has watched it 4 times already.
I know. Phil just can't stop watching, although he keeps getting up to go to the bathroom. We can't figure out what's going on with him. I think he's got an incontinence problem. Yeah.
He had Blue Chew delivered to his door, watched the video 4 times.
Yeah. He just...
Bathroom breaks constantly.
I know. We think he might have some sort of a problem or something. It should not be difficult to find both of them, they went on to say. Military brass from Bangkok, Oriental City, where the city don't know what the city just got, have been trying for several years to clean up Pattaya, which has been branded a modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah. However, they face an uphill struggle against its entrenched 24-hour sex industry and endemic corruption that allows it to continue unabated. The bars, which function as a shop window for prostitutes, along with massage parlors and street workers, are also a lucrative part of the area's tourism industry. Meanwhile, the rule-breaking tourist isn't the first fornicator bruiser to be caught on camera engaging in public sex this year.
Really?
Yep. Brazen couples at other tourist destinations have also been seen taking their private business public. Back in July, 2 couples were busted bonking in outdoor jacuzzis at a Hong Kong hotel. The same month, 2 frisky Game of Thrones fans were seen having sex in the King's Landing filming location for the HBO show, or from the HBO show. So they were from the HBO show. Meanwhile, a bouncer was seen romping with a woman on top of a bar in Crimea, Russia, as pervy patrons were seen cheering them on. Evidently, it's getting to be a thing. Evidently, too, there was another story that I didn't want to read the full story for, but it's becoming a thing in England now to do it in public. It's becoming a trend.
Okay. Like, so weird.
Yeah. So,
like,
there you go.
It's been around forever, but now why is all of a sudden it a trend? Why is this the hot thing?
I don't know. It's a trend. By the way, in case you were wondering, Bruiser, what a scene looks like from a homeless man's point of view in Pattaya, Thailand. This is what he saw. Yeah. So there you go.
They're right there on his sofa. They got to get off.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, they're relatively clothed. It's not like they're out there, stark naked and doing their deal.
That's what I thought I was going to see, but no.
No, they got tops on.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just from the waist down.
I think he's just mad because they're in his den.
Yeah, they're in his living room doing their deal.
Yeah.
So
he wanted to watch football.
Whoever was playing football out in the street at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what that is. So that'll do it for Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals for this week. I assume you probably have a connecting to catch in just a few minutes here?
Yeah, actually I do.
All right, so
I'll be able to use the restroom and get on a plane.
All right, well, we're going to take and let you do your thing, and we will tell people that we will see them tomorrow for Supernatural News. So that'll do it today for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. We'll catch you on the flip side tomorrow for Supernatural News on Darkness Radio. But thank you, folks, for listening to the best in true crime podcasting. This has been True Crime Tuesday.